2007 was a turning point for your Colorado Buffaloes. A grueling off-season workout program was intended to better prepare the Buffs for a new chapter in the history book of CU football. What better way to test a team's preparation and resolve than by starting the season playing a bitter rival? The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown against the Colorado State Rams at Invesco Field at Mile High gave the Colorado Buffaloes their first chance at proving what their off-season commitment had prepared them for. Led by redshirt freshman quarterback Cody Hawkins making his first collegiate start, the Buffaloes took only 6 plays to score their first touchdown of the year. The offense drove CU fans into a frenzy when Hawkins hit redshirt freshman receiver Scotty McKnight for a 24-yard touchdown to put the Buffs up 7-0.
Hawkins crouches under center, takes a snap, drops back, sets up, rifles it downfield in the corner. Scotty McKnight bobbles, catches, end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. Fingertip catch by Scotty McKnight. And just like last year, the Buffaloes take the opening drive straight through the Colorado State defense and find the end zone.
After the Rams knotted the score at 7 apiece, Terrence Wheatley started his assault on CSU by returning the ensuing kickoff 43 yards to the Rams' 46-yard line. 4 plays later, including a 32-yard streak by McKnight, Hawkins would hook up with senior tight end Tyson DeVree on a 10-yard score for his second touchdown pass of the day.
10, make it 2nd and 7 from the 10. Snap to Hawkins, rifle it over the middle, spinning, up in the air, coming down, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. A beautiful pass, throwing a strike to Tyson DeVree from Cody Hawkins, and Little Hawk already on 2 possessions with 2 passing touchdowns, this one from 11 yards out.
Colorado State came back to tie the score, but the defense held strong the rest of the half, stopping the Rams on 4th down and making them punt from deep within their own territory. Senior punt returner Chase McBride gave the Buffs good field position on a 20-yard return, setting up the Buffs near midfield. A 31-yard pass from Hawkins to junior Patrick Williams on 3rd down paved the way for senior kicker Kevin Eberhardt to drill his first career field goal from 38 yards out to put the Buffs on top 17-14 at halftime. The Rams came out in the second half and scored 2 touchdowns in just 3 minutes, but it would be their final points of the day. The Buffs responded by executing a critical third-quarter drive, which saw them travel 86 yards in 14 plays. Hawkins converted on 3 third-and-long opportunities, setting up redshirt freshman tailback Demetrius Sumler for his first collegiate touchdown.
Hawkins under center, gives to Sumler, who is lined up at fullback, right side, runs in, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado from 3 yards out. The Buffaloes inverted the running backs, and the fullback was Sumler, and he chugged it straight into the end zone.
Down by 5. Cody Hawkins hit sophomore tight end Ryer Gear for the 2-point conversion to bring the Buffs within a field goal. With momentum swinging in their favor, the Buffs defense capitalized, stopping the Rams on 4th down for the 2nd time. When the Rams got the ball back again, the defense gave little ground. With just over 2 minutes remaining, Colorado State again chose to punt to Chase McBride.
McBride up to the 23, makes it across the 25, has room 30, 35, 40-yard line, has more room, 50-yard line, 45, runs to the sideline, and Kaler knocks him out of bounds. A great return by Chase McBride, deep into Rams territory, all the way.
The Buffs took over and converted on 4th down when Patrick Williams was interfered with while going for a catch. With 11 seconds remaining in the game, Eberhardt kicked his 2nd career field goal to tie the game at 28 apiece and send it into overtime. In overtime, the Buffs were determined to outlast rival Colorado State. Taking over on defense, Terrence Wheatley stepped in front of a Caleb Haney pass and intercepted it in the end zone.
Going right to left, Haney retreats, looking to the end zone, under pressure, now runs to his right, throws in the end zone, and it is picked off by Colorado. Picked off in the end zone. And up with the football was Terrence Wheatley.
Can you believe that?
He had 5 a year ago. And the Buffaloes hold off the Rams and now have a chance to answer in the bottom half of overtime number 1.
You know, it was an awesome feeling just to go out there and set the tone for the season and be like, you know, you may think we're down, but we're not down. We're always going to come back. We're not going to lay down for anybody. And to me, that was great.
Wheatley's heroics set the stage for another heroic act, as Eberhardt nailed a 35-yard field goal for the Buffs, becoming the first kicker in CU history to kick a game winner in overtime.
In overtime number 1, put down, kick is up, it is on its way, and it is good! Colorado bounces back and knocks off Colorado State in the Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown in overtime, 31-28 here at Invesco Field at Mile High.
I mean, it was a great feeling, you know, you couldn't ask for anything more. And, you know, doing it in front of the home crowd and our fans, and, you know, my sister's a big CSU fan. She's a grad up there, so that was a little extra sweet in my household. But, yeah, it's great. You know, you wait that long and finally get your chance. It's really fulfilling.
The Buffs were back in possession of the Governor's Cup. In the game, linebacker Jordan Dizon led the defense with an amazing 22 tackles, the most by one player in 10 years, a precursor to the amazing season the senior captain was about to have.
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Colorado's next 2 games against national powerhouses proved to be learning experiences, if nothing else. The Buffs first went on the road to Tempe for a chance at redemption against Arizona State. With the temperature at 102 degrees at kickoff, the Buffs started strong.
Takes a snap, chest high, whips it right side. It is picked off by Terrence Wheatley. Running at the 20, 15, 10. He's got the quarterback, dives to the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown, Colorado.
On the third play from scrimmage, all Big 12 cornerback Terrence Wheatley picked off a Rudy Carpenter pass and returned it 35 yards for a touchdown, giving the Buffs a 7-0 lead less than a minute into the game. The Buffs defense kept ASU off balance early, allowing the Sun Devils to get just 1 first down and forcing them to 3 and out 3 times in their first 4 possessions. Colorado started 3 of its 4 drives inside ASU territory, but struggled moving the ball and couldn't capitalize on great field position for their first 6 drives. Special teams were big early against ASU, with team captain R.J. Brown recovering a Sun Devil fumble to set up CU's second score of the night.
Hawkins, play action, sets up, looks left, throws in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado!
The Buffs were up by 2 scores, and the Sun Devils could not move the ball against the Buffs. The Sun Devils eventually got their offense going, scoring 19 points in the second quarter and taking a 19-14 halftime lead and eventually winning 33-14. Back at home against Florida State, CU faced a pace of football similar to the second half of the Arizona State game. The defense played strong, racking up tackles for losses on several plays and keeping the Seminoles' offense in check. Coming out of halftime with FSU ahead 10-0, the Buffs' offense showed some life, driving the ball 44 yards, but the effort ended with another failed field goal, Colorado's second of the game. Jordan Dizon, Ryan Walters, and Brandon Nicholas all chipped in to stifle Florida State's ground game and make quarterback Drew Weatherford very uncomfortable.
Takes a snap, Edwards flanks him to the right, drops the throw, sets now, he's grabbed and sacked right up the middle. Beautiful play by George Hippolyte, his second sack of the ball game.
Although behind the entire game, CU's defense had little to apologize for, containing Florida State to just 221 yards on offense and to 1 of 13 conversions on third down. On CU's third possession of the fourth quarter, the Buffs really began to pick up momentum, and on fourth down, Hawkins found debris in the end zone to break the drought.
Snap to Hawkins, backpedals, has time, throws it over the middle, high in the air, debris, touchdown, Colorado! and it works on 4th down. The Buffaloes get the touchdown. The streak continues, and with 3:39 to play in the ball game.
CU's final drive saw a flurry of pass plays all over the field, with Cody Hawkins finding 5 different receivers for double-digit pickups. It wasn't enough, though, and the Buffs fell to Florida State 16-6. Colorado's streak of 225 games without being shut out was intact, but they were now 1-2. After the loss to Florida State, the Buffs were home a week later to face the Miami RedHawks in the first ever meeting between the two schools. Colorado came out of the gates fast and didn't let up until the clock read 0. On the Buffs' second possession, the offense marched methodically down the field, going 72 yards in 16 plays, largely behind the arm of quarterback Cody Hawkins.
Offset eye, Byron Ellis, the tail of the tandem. Hawkins turns, play action sets, throws it in the end zone, up in the air, catch is made, touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Tyson DeVries, and Colorado strikes first from 1 yard out and takes a 6-0 lead over Miami.
On their next possession, the Buffs beat the RedHawks on the ground and through the air, extending their lead early. Hugh Charles returned to the lineup after missing 3 games with a hamstring injury he'd sustained on the second play of the Colorado State game. He lit up the RedHawks for a 22-yard run on CU's first scoring drive.
Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, breaks 3 tackles, still on his feet, across the 50, across the 45, down to the 42-yard line, and there's Hugh Charles running with passion. First down, Colorado.
Freshman Josh Smith continued to be reliable, hauling in a 24-yard pass from Hawkins. Freshman tailback Brian Lockridge, behind a great block from fellow freshman offensive lineman Ryan Miller, appeared to have scored his first collegiate touchdown on a 10-yard scamper. But the officials ruled it a 9-yard run, and the Buffs were forced to run one more play to get into the end zone.
This time he's in. This time it counts. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado!
The Colorado defense rose up to the challenge as well, sniffing out play after play. Midway through the second quarter, the Buffs found the end zone again after a 4-play drive, with Hawkins finding another freshman, wide receiver Kendrick Celestine, for 37 yards, and then keeping the ball for a 1-yard score. Up 3 touchdowns in the first half, the Buffs weren't finished.
Now it is Hugh Charles, direct snap, fakes the handoff, runs to his left, has room, running at 30. Tries to beat a man, sidestep to the defender, running at the 40, 45-yard line, still on his feet. Finger Settler gets a nice block, cuts to his left, running at the 40, running at the 35-yard line, stiff arms the defender, still running at the 30, breaks another tackle, backpedals, looking left, delivering left, downfield, and it is caught inside the 15-yard line. Snap, turns, play action set, throws right side, spinning, grabbing, catches made. DeVilly, the former quarterback, converted to tight end last year, running to the right corner along the goal line, touchdown.
Up 28-0 after a half, CU's defense came out strong in the second half, stopping the RedHawks on 4th down and maintaining the shutout.
It takes a whale of a hit. Oh my goodness.
The offense couldn't be stopped as the Buffs rolled over the RedHawks 42-0, earning their first shutout since a 34-0 blanking of Oklahoma State in 2005.
Pitch to Lockridge, right side. He's got a blocker out in front. Running at the 40, 35, gets a nice block, running at the 30. Watch out, 25, 20, 15, 10. Look out, touchdown. A streak down the right sideline. Brian Lockridge to the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. Jagoras is the guy who gave him the block.
I definitely owed him because early in the game I got a holding call that called back his first touchdown. So I owed him a big cut block to set him free on that one. And I mean, that was a good moment for him. I think that was one of his first college touchdowns. So that was huge. I love that kid.
CU rushed for 359 yards on the day, the most in 5 years, behind 123 yards from a healthy Hugh Charles. Demetrius Sumler added 91, and Brian Lockridge finished with 90. The Buffs finished with 634 yards of total offense. Conversely, Miami only ventured into Colorado territory 3 times and had just 11 yards of offense in 9 plays on the Buffs side of the 50, never penetrating deeper than the CU 38-yard line. The RedHawks were held under 100 yards in both rushing and passing, and being limited to 139 yards overall. The Buffs were ready for their biggest test of the season, the number 3 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. It had the making of the perfect storm. All week, head coach Dan Hawkins had told his players they would beat Oklahoma. So many times the Buffs had put up a good fight against a quality opponent. This time, they would seal the deal against an OU team that was favored by more than 3 touchdowns. The Buffs' defense came out strong early, holding the Sooners to 3 and out in their first 2 possessions. After a Colorado turnover, Oklahoma took over deep in CU territory and would eventually score the game's first touchdown. The Buffs would respond early in the second quarter on a 69-yard drive to tie the game at 7.
Hawkins, ball left hash mark, flanked either side by a running back. Inside handoff gives to Hugh Charles, finds a seam, gets a nice block, running at the 20, running at the 15, running at the 5, touchdown, touchdown, Hugh Charles, touchdown, Colorado from 25 yards out. And how about this? The Buffaloes have pulled within a PAT of number 3 Oklahoma here in Boulder.
Oklahoma would get 2 more scores before halftime to take a 17-7 lead into the locker room. When the Sooners scored a touchdown with 12:31 left in the third quarter to put OU up 24-7, many thought the game was over. But the Buffs battled back, and midway through the third quarter, they put together a drive that pulled the Buffs within 24-10. Charles, senior Byron Ellis, and Demetrius Sumler carried the ball for hard-fought yards, and Hawkins hit Josh Smith for 17 yards to set up a 41-yard try by Kevin Eberhard.
It's long. Snap, spotted, booted. The kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good. That makes it 24-10 in favor of number 3 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma would take over after the Buffs score, and on their second play, CU free safety Ryan Walters made a diving interception to get the ball back for the Buffs.
Long 3, short 4, play action. Bradford sets, rifles it downfield, incomplete, deflected and picked off by Ryan Walters. Did he come up with a football though? Yes, interception. Ryan Walters, his first pick of the campaign, the first turnover of the game by Oklahoma with 3:22 to play in the third.
Colorado drove the ball deep into OU territory as the third quarter was winding down, looking to pull within a score of the Sooners. They pounded the ball on the ground, tiring the hapless Oklahoma defenders. Then on the first play of the fourth quarter, on 4th down, the Buffs came through big when they needed to.
Formation, one running back is Byron Ellis. Dropping Hawkins, looking to throw. Throws it out there, right side. Catch is made. Tyson DeVries. Touchdown. Touchdown. Colorado from 4 yards out. And the Buffaloes have pulled within 24-16 of number 3 Oklahoma.
With momentum now on their side, the Buffs defense put the clamps on the Sooner offense down the stretch. OU's running game went nowhere as Alan Patrick struggled just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Oklahoma quarterback Sam Bradford was not even that lucky.
Long cadence, takes a snap, retreats. Here comes Buff pressure, grabbed around the waist, and Jordan Tyson brings him down back at the 41-yard line. A loss of 8 yards. And that quells the drive by the Sooners once again, and Oklahoma must punt it away with the Buffaloes trailing by a touchdown. 20 drops to throw, looks to his left, throws it out there, and it is deflected in the air and picked off by Daniel Dykes. And there's a wrestling match for it. Iglesias and Dykes are battling for the ball down at the 42-yard line.
After the interception by Daniel Dykes, CU stalled and had to punt. Junior Gardner McKay distracted OU punt returner Reggie Smith, causing him to fumble the ball that CU snapper Justin Drescher was able to recover. The fumble set the Buffs up at the OU 16-yard line, where 4 plays later, quarterback Cody Hawkins would hit senior wideout Dusty Sprague with a 15-yard touchdown and the equalizer. tying the game at 24 and sending the Folsom crowd into a frenzy.
Sumner to the tail of the tandem. Give on the end around. No, Cody Hawkins keeps it. Throws it end zone. Dusty Sprague. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. A beautiful play fake by Cody Hawkins. Faked on the end around and on a play action delivered it back in the end zone. Dusty Sprague.
With just under 4 minutes to play in regulation, it was up to the Buffs' defense to hold the Sooners, and they did just that, forcing a 3-and-out. Oklahoma chose to punt the ball to returner Chase McBride, who stood at the CU 19-yard line and returned the punt 31 yards to midfield, setting up a finish Buff fans are sure to remember.
Charles, Celestine, and Smith. The wide receivers, play action. Hawkins looks right, delivers out there. Celestine, the grab of the 35, and he's hammered down right there. First down, Colorado. Tied up at 24 between the Buffaloes and number 3 Oklahoma. Snap, put down, the kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good! Good! As time expires, Colorado wins 27-24. Bedlam here in Boulder as the Buffaloes have upset number 3 Oklahoma.
When Kevin Eberhardt's career-long 45-yard field goal sailed through the uprights as time expired, the stadium erupted and rushed onto the field to celebrate Dan Hawkins' biggest win in his early coaching tenure at Colorado.
Hard work. You know, that game was won on Saturday, but it was actually won on Tuesday, Thursday, and Wednesday, or throughout the week. I mean, those guys worked their fannies off all week, and they bust their butts, and it just shows on Saturday.
The Buffs snapped a 5-game losing streak to the Sooners, including 2 in Big 12 championship games. Charles had his second 100-yard game in a row, netting 110 yards against OU. Cody Hawkins continued an impressive freshman campaign, throwing for 220 yards and 2 scores. With spirits still high 1 week after pulling off one of the most stunning upsets in recent memory, the Buffs traveled to Waco with an air of confidence that had yet to be felt during the Dan Hawkins era. CU looked to avenge its 2006 loss to Baylor when the Bears came into Folsom and beat Colorado in triple overtime.
Going down to Waco, sometimes they'll kind of lull you to sleep a little bit, and you really got to be on your game, because you go down there, there's no atmosphere whatsoever, no crowd noise, no one to pump you up, no one to get you going, and you really just got to rely on your own will and your own desire to go down there and play well. And at that point in the season, it was really important for us to get a win.
The Buffs offense jumped out of the gates quickly, scoring on its first possession. Cody Hawkins and Dusty Sprague hooked up 3 times for gains of 27, 28, and 26 yards, eventually giving CU a 7-0 lead.
Hawkins stepped to throw, rifles it downfield, back of the end zone, wide open, touchdown, touchdown, Dusty Sprague, touchdown, Colorado.
Captain Jordan Dizon and the CU defense would force turnovers on 2 of the next 4 Baylor possessions, one of which would come just before the end of the first quarter. Colorado would capitalize on great field position after a 42-yard punt return by senior Stephon Robinson, as Kevin Eberhardt converted a 41-yard field goal attempt. The Buffaloes scored a touchdown early in the second quarter on a 7-yard pass from Hawkins to Sumler that gave Colorado a 17-0 lead.
Play action, Hawkins sets, whips it out left side, Sumner to the ground with a 5, running to the end zone, hit at the end zone, dives in, touchdown! Demetrius Sumler, the redshirt freshman out of San Diego, with his first receiving touchdown in college.
Colorado would score another touchdown and 2 field goals before the half, including a 54-yarder by Eberhardt as time expired. The Buffs were up 30-9 at the half. The second half saw the Buffs continue with the same attacking style of play. Hugh Charles was running the ball effectively along with Demetrius Sumler. Kevin Eberhardt added another early field goal to put CU up by 24.
Hawkins gives out the Sellers, second push, finds the end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. That makes it 39-9 here in Waco with 6:08 to play in the third quarter.
Sumler would eventually score 3 touchdowns on the day en route to a 43-23 blowout of the Bears. The victory was CU's first road win in 2 years, ending a 7-game losing streak. Hawkins passed for 293 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Kevin Eberhardt tied a school record with 5 field goals. The Buffs were now 4-2, having won 3 in a row and about to head back on the road to play Kansas State. Manhattan, Kansas is never an easy place to play, and the Buffs did not bring the kind of game necessary to take down the Wildcats. The potential was there as fullback Jake Behrens ripped off a 23-yard run to start the game on CU's first possession.
Running at the 35, running at the 40, grabbed around the ankles and hauled down all the way out to the 44-yard line. Make it Jake Behrens on the carry.
K-State jumped out to an early 10-0 lead before the Buffs were able to get on the scoreboard. Hugh Charles cut loose for a 22-yard run to set up a long try from Eberhardt.
Ashmark back to the eye of the tail of the town, and Hugh Charles, he gets the call, finds a hole up the middle, bounces off a tackler, running at the 50, grabbed from behind, trucks inside the 45, down to the 40 to the 39-yard line, and eventually hauled down. A beautiful run, a gain of 22 yards, hard running by Hugh Charles at a first down. Straight away with the wind, I think it is back. Put down, the kick is up by Eberhardt. It is on its way, and it is good. A long kick by Kevin Eberhardt, the reigning special teams player of the week in the Big 12 Conference.
CU showed signs of life with Byron Ellis going up the middle for 14 to end the first quarter, and Hugh Charles breaking tackles for 24 to start the second. Colorado finished the drive when Hawkins found Behrens in the end zone for a touchdown.
Second down, goal to go for the 1. Hawkins to throw, right side, down on his knees, coming up with the football, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. Along the goal line, the fullback, Jake Behrens.
The Buffaloes' defense kept the game within reach, and CU headed into the locker room only down 10 after trading field goals with the Wildcats in the final 5 minutes. Charles had the makings of a monster game with a couple of big runs to end the first half.
Hugh Charles is the tailback, hand up to Hugh, right side, finds a seam, running at the 35, running at the 40, running at the 45. He's got a man to beat, running at the 45, inside the 40, and he's hauled down from behind by McKinney at the 38-yard line, a gain of 37 yards, and Hugh Charles now with 9 carries, 97 yards in the ball game.
The Wildcats scored to start the third, and Colorado answered with a big play from Hawkins to freshman Josh Smith, going 40 yards down the CU sideline. Charles added another long run, this time for 24 yards, and would eventually score to bring the deficit back to 10.
Under center is Hawkins. Hand off to Charles, goes airborne into the end zone. He went flying in, touchdown, Colorado.
From then on, it was all K-State. The Wildcats put up 3 scores to end the game, including a blocked punt and the 68-yard run to nail the coffin shut and send the Buffs home with a 47-20 loss. Hugh Charles was the bright spot in the stat sheet, racking up a career-high 171 yards on 22 carries to go along with a touchdown. Charles had now rushed for over 100 yards in 4 straight games, but the Buffs were now just 1 game above 500. The Buffs came home after the tough loss to Kansas State and welcomed the Kansas Jayhawks to Boulder to complete the Sunflower Series in 2007. Kansas came into the game undefeated and ranked number 15 in the nation. The game had all the makings of an offensive shootout, but it never materialized as both defenses dominated the first half. The Buffs held the Jayhawks to 2 straight 3-and-outs to start the game, setting the tone for the day.
One setback is Sharp under center, racing, hands out to Sharp, runs it up inside. You can hear the collision. Holy cow, right up the middle came Brad Jones and hauled down the ball carrier for no gain.
Colorado was able to move the ball on Kansas, but could not sustain scoring drives early on. Several nice plays by Hawkins and his receivers resulted in decent yardage, but no points. The Jayhawks took a 3-0 lead into halftime. In the second half, both offenses finally came alive. Colorado took the second half kickoff and marched downfield, again riding the arm of Hawkins and the freshman connection to Josh Smith. Using a little trickery, the Buffs took their first lead of the game.
27. Crowding line of scrimmage. Hawkins takes the snap, broken play, sets up, rifles over the middle, wide open. Tyson DeVries catching a 5, end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. 9:50 to play, and I tell you what, Tyson DeVries was so alone and looked like he was late for school out there. Oh, what a play by the Buffaloes.
After the Jayhawks answered with a touchdown drive of their own and a field goal, the Buffs used an air attack in a 14-play drive to pull within 19-14. Cody hooked up with tight end Tyson DeVries on 2 long plays and again went long to receiver Patrick Williams.
Takes the snap. Here comes pressure. Throws it down the right side. Patrick Williams is out there high in the air. Makes the grab at the 5-yard line. And he's hauled down right there in front of safety Darryl Stuckey. A gain of 27 yards. And it's first down, a goal to go for the 5 for Colorado.
Hawkins found Byron Ellis from 5 yards out for the score. With Colorado in striking range, the Buffalo defense held strong, giving the Buffs a chance to win the game.
Ball left hash mark. Shotgun snap. Inside handoff to Jake Sharp, and he's hit and knocked down for a loss inside the 15-yard line at the 14. A loss of 3 yards. Brandon Nicholas.
Though CU could not convert on its final drive, the Buffs came away knowing they could play with any team in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard the number 2 toughest schedule in the nation, and so every week we couldn't take a week off. We had to come at it, attack every week, and there was no bye week for us. So, that's why you come to the Big 12, and that's why you come to Colorado to play those types of teams and that type of schedule, and I wouldn't want it any different.
Their memories were short, and their focus after the game shifted to their next opponent, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Buffaloes went on the road to Lubbock, Texas to look for their 5th win of the 2007 season against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Viewers across the nation tuned in to the ABC telecast game as the Buffs looked to repeat their 2006 performance when they trounced the Red Raiders 30-6. The Buffs defense got the chance to prove themselves first, allowing only 23 yards on the opening possession by Texas Tech and forcing a 38-yard punt to pin the Buffs deep in their own territory at the 5-yard line. CU's offense wasted no time in getting on the board, driving 91 yards down the field to claim the first touchdown of a high-scoring football game. On the 10th play of a steady opening drive, senior tailback Hugh Charles broke open the Red Raider defense, scampering 31 yards to the end zone on a run over the left tackle, giving the Buffs a 7-0 lead.
Hawkins gives out the Hugh Charles left side, has a big hole, running 20, all the way, 10, 5, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. Oh, what a hole off the left side, and Hugh went squirting through for a touchdown of 31 yards.
After forcing a missed field goal from 42 yards, the Buffs defense gave the offense the ball back at the 25-yard line, looking for their second score of the game. Josh Smith's drag across the middle and streak down the Tech sideline moved the Buffs into striking position.
This time Hawkins gives off to Scotty McKnight. The throwback, Cody Hawkins makes the catch at the 10-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds around the 8. And it's going to be very close to a first down. Cody made the grab, but he took a whale of a shot and got knocked out of bounds.
Picking apart the Red Raiders' defense, the Buffs capped the 75-yard drive with a 2-yard completion to Ryer Gear, springing the Buffs to a 14-0 lead.
Oh my goodness, is that close?
On the ensuing Texas Tech drive, senior cornerback Terrence Wheatley grabbed his first of 3 interceptions in the game. a task which has not been accomplished by a Buffs player in 15 years.
Time, rifles it over the middle. Crabtree threw his hands, and it is picked off. Picked off by Colorado, running at the 45, running at the 35, running at the 25, and Terrence Wheatley inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line.
Hawkins and Charles combined to chew up yardage and set up an Eberhard field goal to put CU ahead 17-6 in the third quarter. Defensively, the Buffaloes never let Tech establish any kind of consistent rhythm, harassing quarterback Graham Harrell all afternoon. He was sacked 3 times, hurried 9 times, and most important, intercepted 4 times, the second of which was returned for a touchdown.
Left. Takes a snap, does Harrell. Sets to throw. Quick throw right side. Picked off by Dyson at the 40. Running at the 25. Running at the 15. He's got the quarterback. Blows by him into the end zone. Touchdown. A 42-yard return.
As far as my picks go, all the credit goes to Ryan Walters. And before the game, she comes up and he does this little hand motion with his hands and does this aura around me. And the only 2 times he did it is the 2 times I got picks. And, so whatever he's doing, he better keep on doing it to me, because he did it twice, and it's the only time I got picks. And
Hugh Charles would eventually rush for 121 yards and a touchdown and catch 5 passes, 1 for a score. Cody Hawkins threw for 123 yards and 2 TDs as the pair led CU's offense, which played a near-perfect game in the sense that it did not turn the ball over, did not allow a sack, and had just 1 penalty. But senior cornerback Terrence Wheatley was the story. He finished with 3 picks, the first Buff to snare a hat trick of interceptions in a single game since 1982, with 2 coming in crunch time when the Red Raiders tried to rally in the final quarter. He was named the Walter Camp National and Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts.
I guess if you could be in the zone playing football, I guess I was kind of in the zone, just playing, making plays. And, the team kind of rebounded from that and said, okay, we're kind of in it. Let's finish the game. And that kind of shows the maturity level that we didn't have at the beginning of the season. And so for me, it wasn't even about my interceptions. It was about just the team just saying, hey, we got that maturity level. We're not going to lay down. We're going to finish it like we should finish it.
Colorado looked to extend its recent dominance over Missouri, a team CU had beaten 18 times out of the last 22 meetings between the teams. The game started out on a good foot for the Buffs as defensive tackle George Hippolyte intercepted a Chase Daniel pass on the second play of the game and set up the Buffs in Tiger territory.
Ball looks to his right, throws it off, bubble screen left side, it is tipped in the air, and it is picked off by George Hippolyte. Gardner McKay got a hand on it, deflected it up in the air, and big old George Hippolyte comes down with the interception, and the Buffaloes have it at the 11-yard line.
It took the Buffs just 3 plays to hit pay dirt and take a 7-0 lead.
In from left to right, snap to Hawkins, hands out, Byron Ellis, right side, dives in, end zone, touchdown, Colorado. 13:27 to play in this opening quarter, and a quick turnover by the Tigers results in 6.
After Missouri tied the game at 7, the Buffs and Tigers came up empty on their next 2 possessions, with Missouri punting near midfield. CU's special teams came up big.
Buffs get a block on the punt. Alonzo Barrett got a hand on it and deflected it out of bounds on the far side at the 36-yard line.
Barrett's blocked punt was the first blocked punt of the Hawkins era, and it set the Buffs up in Tiger territory. The Buffs would get into field goal range, where senior Kevin Eberhard would give CU its final lead, 10-7.
Kneeling down, right hash mark, kicking left to right, down to the right knee, right hand extended, snap, spotted, booted by Eberhard. The kick is up, it's on its way, and it is good.
And that was it. The Tigers rolled from there as Chase Daniel threw 5 touchdown passes, and Missouri became the first team to roll up over 500 yards of offense on Colorado in 4 years. The number 9 Tigers defeated the Buffaloes 55-10. The Buffs then took to the road to play the Iowa State Cyclones in Ames, Iowa. After a scoreless first quarter, the Buffs hit the gas and exploded for 3 touchdowns. Quarterback Cody Hawkins hit senior tight end Joe Sanders for an 11-yard gain, and Hugh Charles brought the offense down to the 1.
Cody Hawkins dives into the end zone for a touchdown to make it 6-0 in favor of Colorado with 14:46 to play in this second quarter early on.
After a pair of punts, Colorado's defense came up big, and safety Lionel Harris, subbing for the injured Ryan Walters, snagged an Iowa State pass and set the Buffs up in Cyclone territory. 2 plays later, the Buffs struck pay dirt again, putting them up 14-0.
Touchdown. Hawkins under center. Takes the handoff. Turns. Hands out. Hugh Charles right side. Finds a seam. Running at the 10. Strong to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. 2:49 to play in the first half, and it's 13-0 in favor of the Buffaloes. As
the Buffs would complete the second quarter trifecta with a 92-yard drive before halftime.
Play action. Cody boots out to his right under pressure. Swings it off. Catches made. Wire gear. 25, 20. Gets away from the defender. Still on his feet. 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. Oh, what a nifty play as they dump off to the tight end wire gear. He steps out of a tackle at the 15 and goes rumbling in, and it's 20-0 in favor of Colorado with 25 seconds left to play in the first half.
The tale of 2 halves saw the Cyclones come back to score 31 unanswered points against the Buffs after halftime. Showing its resolve, the CU offense led a comeback late in the fourth quarter to cut the deficit to 3.
There. Snap to Hawkins. Sets to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Throws back in the end zone. It's caught back in the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. Scotty McKnight with the touchdown, and that makes it now 31-27 in favor of Iowa State.
The defense took the field and turned the Cyclones away on 3 consecutive plays. With 46 seconds left on the clock, the offense took to the field again to tie the score. With CU out of timeouts and the clock running, the field goal team sprinted out onto the field, and Kevin Eberhardt nailed a 50-yard kick to apparently tie the game. But the officials called a delay of game on the Buffs for snapping the ball before they signaled it ready for play and penalized CU 5 yards. With the clock reset at 1 second, CU snapped it again, and Eberhardt drilled a 55-yarder, but this time the refs claimed CU did not snap it in time, and the clock hit 0 before long snapper Justin Drescher hiked the ball. Colorado fell 31-28 with arguably their worst half of football of the season. At 5-6, CU had to win its final game to become bowl eligible, and it had to come at home against its biggest rival the day after Thanksgiving against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It was also Senior Day, the last chance for several Buffs to play in front of their home crowd.
Oh, it was really emotional, just knowing it was my last time playing in Folsom, I was fighting back the tears, and, I'm going to miss playing at that stadium, but, life goes on, and it was just really emotional for me.
The CU offense came on strong, turning its first possession into points.
Sprague, play action. Hawkins sets up. He's got a man open, throws it down the left side, and it is caught at the 25, running at the 15, at the 10. Hugh Charles out of bounds, just shy of the 10-yard line at the 11-yard line. Kneeling down just outside the 15. We'll call it a 25-yarder for Eberhardt from the left hash mark. Kick is up. It's on its way, and it's good.
Nebraska responded with a touchdown, but the Buffs would fight back to take the lead.
Right. Hawkins out of the shotgun. Motion man is Dusty Sprague. Inside handoff. Hugh Charles has a big hole. Running at the 50. Pushes off on Daniel Sanders. Running at the 45, 40. Gets the block. Running at the 30. Running at the 25. Inside the 20. All the way down to the 17-yard line. And Hugh Charles had center Daniel Sanders run the screen downfield in the big fella. Hawkins out of the shotgun. Takes a snap. Fakes a pass right side. Quarterback draw. Breaks the tackle. Dives in. Touchdown. A touchdown. Colorado. And how about that play? A pump fake to the right side for Cody Hawkins. He broke a tackle at about the 3-yard line of Ben Eisenhart, and then just went diving into the end zone from 5 yards south. That makes it 9-7 in favor of Colorado.
After taking the lead back, it was the defense's turn to make plays.
Inside handoff again to Lucky, and he's met right there by Brad Jones and hauled down for no gain. And what a job defensively by the Buffaloes.
Getting the ball back at midfield, the Buffs were poised to strike again.
Man, shotgun snap to Hawkins, give to Hugh Charles, right side, makes a man miss, running at the 15, running at the 10, defender jumps on his back, Courtney Grigsby rides him down at the 6-yard line, and it's a first down carry for Hugh Charles, a gain of 19 yards. Hawkins takes a snap, gives on the end around to Dusty Sprague, turns it upfield, gets a beautiful block from Samson Jagoras into the end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado once again.
Everybody knew, Nebraska knew that our strong suit on this football team is running the football, and we take a great deal of pride in that and being able to run the ball consistently and early and finish strong. And us being able to come out, run the ball effectively as we did and finish like we did shows a great deal of I guess, just drive on our part to be able to come out and impose our will upon somebody else, knowing that the other team knew exactly what we were going to do, and us still being able to go out and accomplish our goals is.
After 3 straight Nebraska scores put the Huskers up 28-17. Colorado answered the bell with a late second-half drive.
Nebraska, Buffalo's first down at 10 from the 11-yard line. Hawkins set to throw over the middle, wide open, touchdown, Tyson DeVries, touchdown, Colorado. Holy cow, as DeVries left wide open and uncovered in the back of the end zone.
A Nebraska touchdown with 18 seconds left in the half put the Huskers on top 35-24. But little did anyone know, there were some second-half fireworks on the way.
Right by Lucky. Takes a snap, drops back to the goal line. Pressure from behind. Throws it over the middle, and it is picked off by Jimmy Smith at the 30. Running at the 25. Running at the 20. Near sideline. 10, 5. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Jimmy Smith, the redshirt freshman out of Colton, Iowa. His first career interception, and he takes it back. A pick 6 for the Buffaloes.
On the very next play from scrimmage, a Nebraska pass again found its way into the hands of a Colorado defender. The interception set the stage for the Buffs to take the lead, one which they would not relinquish.
Hand off to Hugh, up the middle, has a hole, bursts his feet, leapfrogs the man, end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado, and Hugh Charles chugging into the end zone, and the Buffaloes quickly here in the third have regained the lead, 37-35.
The defense came up big again, stopping Nebraska near midfield and setting the stage for a special teams breakthrough.
Here's the high snap, yanked down by Titchener, and it's blocked. Alonzo Barrett, his second of the season, picked up. Now it's popped loose again. Secondly, picked up by Jordan Dyson. Dyson has it, and he's hauled down at the 25. And Colorado, once again with great field position.
4 plays later, the Buffs would find the end zone again. Hawkins' pass to senior Dusty Sprague looked like a touchdown, but after further review, they placed the ball on the 1-yard line, leading the way for an easy score for Hugh Charles. After another defensive stand, the offense looked to put the game away, and did.
Kendrick Celestine, first down, a goal to go for the 10. Shotgun snap to Hawkins, boots out to his right, throws it in the end zone, sliding back with the football. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado!
If the offense hadn't put it away already, the defense made sure of it as the third quarter was winding down. After trailing by 11 at halftime, the Buffs reeled off 35 straight points and took a commanding 58-35 lead. CU's defense shut out the Huskers in the third quarter to seal the game. Another touchdown by senior tailback Byron Ellis gave CU 65 points in the game, the most the Buffs had ever scored against Nebraska.
Hawkins gives off Ellis, left side, big hole, running 15, and 5, touchdown, and how's that for capping off your career as a Buffalo? 1:23 to play.
But, man, it is getting greater than that, man. You know, against big-time rival, and scoring the last touchdown of, the 2007 season in Folsom, man, that just caps off a good 4 years I had, man, for all the hard work I put in. And generally, it just felt good, man. You know, just to go out there and score a touchdown in Folsom in front of the fans, in front of my family that came, man. Generally, it just felt good, man.
2 late cosmetic touchdowns by Nebraska pulled the Huskers to within 16 at the final gun, but nobody in Folsom Field on that chilly morning would forget the way the real black shirts dominated their bitter rival to send them packing for winter break. Hugh Charles played his last game in Folsom Field like a star, racking up 169 yards rushing and scoring 3 touchdowns, his first 3-touchdown game.
I'm so happy for the team, for the community, for the coaching staff that we got to turn it around this year and have a winning season after a down year last year. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for going to this bowl, and I'm going to have fun.
He finished his career as CU's 6th all-time leading rusher with 2,659 yards, but used his all-around day to move up another 4 notches and finish second in all-purpose yards with 3,622 for his career. It also marked the end of an era for 2 great Buffs on defense. Terrence Wheatley was named to the All-Big 12 team for his amazing play in 2007, and Captain Jordan Dizon made everyone's postseason list with one of the best careers a linebacker at Colorado has ever had. He was named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-Big 12, and was runner-up for the Butkus Award as the nation's top linebacker. Dan Hawkins and his squad were rewarded for their 6-6 finish with an invitation to the Petro Sun Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. Thousands of CU fans made their way south to bask in Southern hospitality and the bold tradition their Buffaloes had worked so hard to earn. CU spent over a month preparing for the Tide, and when they took the field in Shreveport, everyone was excited to see what the Hawkins-led team could do against an SEC team. But it didn't start off well. Alabama dominated the Buffs in the first quarter, putting up 20 points and eventually going up 27 early in the second behind a strong performance by Bama quarterback John Parker Wilson. The tide shifted, so to speak, with a big defensive play by Ryan Walters.
Rifles it downfield, and it is picked off by Ryan Walters at the 25, running at the 30, running at the 40, cuts to his left, 45, 50-yard line, tripped up as he runs inside Alabama territory, returns that interception.
Walters' interception sparked a CU offense that had done little to this point, and they marched down the field on a drive much more consistent with Buffalo football. A long pass to Scotty McKnight and a reverse to Josh Smith set up a strike from Hawkins to DeVree, putting Colorado on the board.
Center, play action set, throws it back in the end zone, turning around, Tyson DeVree, touchdown. He made the grab as he spun away from linebacker Darren Mustin and made a very tough catch from 4 yards out. And
with just over a minute on the clock, Hawkins and DeVree again went to work, hooking up 3 times and chewing up big pieces of Tide real estate. With 4 seconds left on the clock, instead of going for a field goal, the coach chose to rely on his passing game instead.
Throw down to 9, down to 8, whips it left side, coming back as Dusty Sprague makes the catch, turns, dives to the end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado. He put on the brakes, let the defender Kareem Jackson go by, caught the football, and then pirouetted around the secondary player and leaped into the end zone.
The Buffs cut their deficit in half in less than 2 minutes, going into the locker room needing 2 scores to tie the game. The second half saw more of the same aerial attack by CU. Hawkins spread the ball all over the field to his 3 favorite targets on the day, McKnight, Josh Smith, and DeVree. An Alabama punt pinned Colorado deep in their own territory on their second possession. But Cody found senior tight end Joe Sanders on a crucial 3rd down play, extending the drive and keeping the momentum in CU's favor.
Inside handoff to Hugh, runs boundary side right, breaks it across the 45, 50-yard line, stutter step move inside the 45, and he's run out of bounds by Rashad Johnson inside the 40 down at the 38-yard line.
Tailback Hugh Charles would get the ground game working, taking the ball into Bama territory. The 14-play drive would end with a field goal by Kevin Eberhardt, banking it in off the left goalpost and drawing the home team within 10. Several big plays in the following possessions would give the Buffs hope, but no points. Alabama would convert a CU turnover into another field goal, and the sense of urgency grew as the clock continued to run. Hawkins went 69 yards in 5 plays, finding DeVry once again to make it a one-score game.
Sets to throw, rifles it at the 1, catch is made into the end zone, touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Tyson DeVry, his second score of the night, a 14-yard strike with 3:51 to play.
With just under 4 minutes left on the clock, the Crimson Tide were able to control the ball and keep the CU offense off the field. Colorado would lose the game 30-24 after dominating close to 3 quarters of football. In a promising look of things to come, Cody Hawkins finished his freshman season with one of his best games as a quarterback and as a leader. He completed 24 of 40 passes for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tight end Tyson DeVry caught 9 balls for 94 yards and 2 scores, a great way to end his senior season. But it was not only a far cry from the 2-10 finish of 2006, it was a reflection of how far this team had come and what was in store for year 3 of the Dan Hawkins era. We said goodbye to 16 seniors, but they set the table for something truly special in Boulder, the future of Colorado football.